World, I'm back. Pardon moi. Okay. So, I just came across this fellow talking about how fascination, people who are fascinated with you, does not necessarily equate that these are your friends. Yeah, fascination does not equate friendship, camaraderie, or love necessarily. It can, but just don't mistake the two for being synonymous. Which led me to also think about, I believe it was Warren Buffett, who talked about the 3 things that he looks for in either hiring or what he looks for in people. The first is enthusiasm, intelligence, and integrity. But Warren Buffett said, if you do not have the last one being integrity, then that enthusiasm and the intelligence can absolutely be cruel and malicious. And then, so as I kind of got on that train, I wrote down, like charm. When someone's charming, again, it doesn't necessarily equate that they're insightful or wise. Yeah, or sorry, the charm would, okay, no. So cleverness doesn't necessarily mean insightful or wise. Charming doesn't necessarily mean kind. And proving versus showing. So I think about this a lot. I think about words. Like for instance, the word expectation versus need, especially in relationships, in our intimate relationships. I've always felt like even the word, like I expect versus I need this from you. Because even with expectation, like I expect you to do this for me. Now, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but the way the word sounds, the energy behind it, it feels like duress, like do this or else. Whereas when you're approaching something with like, this is what I need, it brings the ownership back to you for one, being like, and it's valid. We all have needs. And what's also validated is that sometimes the people, oh my God, I had dropped a card in my earlier reading. It was the Tower reversed. Huh. Okay, hold on one sec. I just got distracted. I did not know this. Okay. Oh man, that threw me off course. Oh, is something gonna throw you off course? Something you don't see, and then it's like a tower reverse? Ugh. Okay, hold on. Holy Hannah Montana, what was I just talking about? Oh, I hate when that happens. Ugh. Okay. Going back to language, words. Because there's nothing technically wrong with being charming, but it's true. If I think about the people that have passed the tests of time, who are still in my life, charm is not the word I would use, to be honest. And there's nothing wrong with being charming, but for me, instead of using charming, I would much rather myself, instead of being charming, and not to say that I'm not charming, but I would rather come off across as engaging. There's something a little bit more sincere. Same with like, cleverness. There's nothing inherently wrong with being clever, but again, I feel like there's a bit more wiggle room to move in the shadows. So kind of thinking about everything's kind of counterpart. They're very similar in flavors, just like how last night I was talking about rocking that line, the threshold. On one side is obsession, and on the other side is normative amounts of excitation, childlike wonder. Like, you know what I mean? There's always like this thin, fine line with similar flavors, but one is a bit more devolved and one is a bit more evolved. One detracts and one attracts. man. Sorry, guys. I'm working out some sinus neck stuff always. Same with proving. I've said this before in other readings. If someone's continuously showing up, not even showing up, but saying, again, lip service, saying to you, I'm going to prove. I'm going to prove that I'm different. Like, I'm always a little bit stitious if people are like, you can trust me. As soon as someone says that you can trust me, oh my God, hand to God, walk away, walk away. Oh my God. Because again, if you're trustworthy, you don't need to do anything. The actions are there. The proof is in the pudding. It's always going to be in the demonstrations. It's always going to be in the actions. And people can act. But that's the thing. If you just wait long enough or watch, if you're observant, you'll see the difference. And sometimes it's a thin line. So there's something here. Oh yeah. Spirit was talking about people in your life. Because have you ever met, especially with partners, you know those people who are like, who come charging on in, they're like, oh my God, you're my soulmate, or like, I love your energy. Again, there's nothing wrong with loving someone's energy. I love a lot of people's energy. But a lot of times, again, people who are fascinated, who love your energy, that feel like you're the one, you got to start asking yourself, what does this person bring to me? They love my energy. Do I love their energy? What's their energy like? Yeah, are they always charming? I feel like charming it's like a vaudeville act. Because they're giving me the example of like Chris Angel or David Blaine. And not to say that they're not masters of their craft, but like what I call like, yeah, like a vaudeville magic. Kind of like it's an illusion. It's a sleight of hand. That's how I feel about the differences. It's always about a sleight of hand. Charming versus engaging. Cleverness versus wisdom and true insight. That fascination versus friendship. Okay, so there's something here. Oh, that tower. Yeah, me seeing the tower. Oh, I feel like someone doesn't want you to see the sleight of hand. Hence the tower in reverse, because if you were to really see right now, you would bring that tower. You'd be like, you know what? Oh, we're done. Okay, well, fuck, we gotta get Snoopy and Scoopy right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I see these things. So, like, when I'm in it, I feel like I get these, like, all the senses of understanding. But sometimes I'm not sure if I'm able to articulate it and intimate it in a way that everyone's like, yes, my guy. But going back to, I guess, what Warren Buffett says, again, I guess if your cleverness and your charm, the backbone is always integrity, because without it, it's a sleight of hand. It's really probably going to be used for maliciousness or ill-intending things. Okay, well, you know who we need to have here? Old grandma. If you're new to the channel, I talk to my grandma. I do talk to my grandma a lot. Grandmother passed away. She was a Pisces. She loved everybody. She prayed for everyone, and she died in prayer, and her prayers worked. Literally. I was really sick once, like really sick. She prayed for me over the phone. Next day, went into remission. And this was after like 8 months of like all the doctors, all the medicines, nothing was working. Nobody knew what was wrong. Grandma got wind, got on the phone, asked if she could pray. Next day, remission. So that's why I love to bring in old grandma. She was a real OG. She is a real OG. 10 of Cups. Okay. Dreams. Okay, so what is your total fulfillment? Let's look into that. What is your idea of being completely satiated? What does that look like for you, collective? Because also, once you have a kind of a clear idea, and also a clear idea of what you don't want. Yeah, let's start. Yeah, I feel like we got to call the herd here. Okay, well, we got some passion. You're moving forward. Okay, I love this. And look at your little hat. Oops, hold on. The one on the bottom of the card here is the Six of Swords. Look at his little chapeau here. I just heard Yankee Doodle. Something about macaroni, put it in his cap. Again, don't remember all the words, but there's something about macaroni, Yankee Doodle, a feather in the cap. His boots are yellow, so moving forward in confidence. Passionate, excited. Yeah, again, normative amounts of excitation. And then using that to propel you forward, being like, okay, yeah, getting clear about what it is that is wish fulfillment for you. What is actually going to fulfill you, make you happy. Getting that locked in, putting on your little feathered cap here. Oh, and we even have the cape. A little cape, a little scarf action. It is fall. He looks like a pumpkin spice latte. Okay, we'll call him Pumpkin Spice. Pumpkin Spice is off to the races. Huh. I feel like this is Pumpkin Spice pushing the boat. So who's this? Is this your family? Yeah, the 10 of Cups. Okay, so you're moving with your family somewhere. Yeah, this is his stick. Pumpkin Spice. Look at this. Yeah, look, Pumpkin Spice. Got his wand. Okay, love this. Okay, pumpkin. Wow. Back to that yellow. The confidence to enact something. And you get it. Tell me more. Ain't that the truth? Because again, oh yeah, when we're talking about if you knew the truth, oh, you do know the truth, and that's why you're getting in that boat. Yeah, you're taking your family. What's the truth? What is the truth? Big time truth. Sometimes the truth is that knowing. Yeah, because again, going with the sleight of hand. Oh, some of the biggest devils. Man, oh man, they have the sweetest voices. They really present. They got all the charm. Charm, charm, charm. And also, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. People who don't have anything emotionally to give, they're the ones that do a lot of that love bombing through a lot of... It's always around the externals. How you look. What you drive. I don't know. There's something here. And also, as we've seen, people spend millions of dollars to change the external parts of themselves before doing the inner work. People will fill up their faces, their bums, put in fake teeth, get new cars, new spouses, new everything before they literally will do the work. I don't know. I feel like for you, you might just be running on a hunch. Because the truth resonates. Just like a lie resonates. Again, the line is always thin. The line between the two is always thin. And in the middle, that's where you can sit and feel them both. And you have to allow yourself to go to these places. Like, in my own, I've been limerent in my life with my trauma. I totally understand now. Before we didn't have the language, but now I look back and I'm like, oh, that was limerence. And just like that one therapist said, you cannot be obsessed with an available person. And you put that with limerence, oh my God. Anyways, there's something here about you gotta go within and see where you've gone or where you go to. Again, not as punishment, not as but to feel the flavor so that you can actually compare and contrast and be like, oh, I know what this is. I know what this is. So that if someone's being charming to you, you can go, oh, is this person just actually really like a real bucket of amazing flavors? But again, because it's backed up by integrity, their charm is, it's enticing, it's inviting, it's warm, it's authentic. And same with in romance. When I was saying in the reading either last night or the night before, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging those parts. It's what you do with it. You can dip a couple little toes in to be like, oh, because you're human. You're like, oh my God, this person is affecting me. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I can't stop thinking about them. But then you lock it in a bit and you go, okay, my guy, okay. Yes, we can be excited, but we're overstepping now. We gotta bring it back. We gotta bring it down. We gotta get humble. We gotta, again, sit, you know. But there must be something around you. There's some kind of truth, and I'm feeling that for you it's just gut at this point, because that the tower was in reverse. So there's something that you haven't seen yet, but enough you have a feeling, a suspicion. There's some kind of truth that's ding ding dinging where you're like, okay, that's enough. That's why we have gut instinct. Okay. So then what, Grandma? Wow. Or maybe you just do. The truth is, well, the truth is always right in front of us. Always. Everything we need to know about anything is literally right here, right now. It's about whether we can see it. It's choosing to see. Or, yeah, think about all the different types of sight. Hindsight, foresight, insight. But any kind of sight, again, you have to just do it. You have to take the time. Even just like with meditation, things require effort and time and also just the action. But it's like, yeah, you go within and then something's like really crystal clear here. Okay, so what's going underneath the Page of Wands to the Ace of Swords? This is the Four of Swords, excuse me. But see how, okay, so the Four of Swords does naturally come after the Three of Swords. We see it referenced here. So, and this person is facing the past. But see, contemplative, right? This isn't cleverness. This is actually doing the work, and the hands are up. So we see that High Priestess, we see the Queen of Swords, so something has become abundantly true and clear with the Ace of Swords. And so this person is facing the past, so you're facing it, and something hurt you, because we see those Three of Swords pointed right above you, so it's referenced. In fact, I think it's like really the first thing you kind of see. You see someone lying, but then you're like, whoa, Three of Swords. Okay. The Fool to the Knight of Cups. Again, the Fool is looking to the past. Which deck do I want to use to clarify? Okay, every little thing. Every little thing you do is magic. On the bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords, little ant. Ooh, the ants go marching one by one. Hurrah, hurrah. Okay. God. Okay, so let's clarify. Well, I guess we'll just start at the beginning. So let's clarify this Ten of Cups. The Moon. So it's emotional. It's some kind of emotional fulfillment. And that can be really anything, right? Because for some people, like, the idea of having a family is not emotional fulfillment. For me, my son, that is my whole Ten of Cups. That is, like, everything to me. So it's going to be emotional. Can I know a bit more, Grandma? Oh, look at this. The two moons. see, she's wearing the 2 half moons here. Oh, yes. Oh, boy. Oh. I'm dropping cards all day. Well, and I was talking about last night, having your cake and eating it too. And by that, I'm not talking things like cheating, but walking the middle road means that you get to taste a little bit of each. Do you know what I mean? And like, actually, how great is that? So like, for instance, like, and I'm a hedonist, so you know, I'm the guy that will absolutely eat 4 Oreo ice cream sandwiches at once. But when I was thinking about it the other day, when Spirit pointed it out to me, where I was like, my guy, balance is win-win-win, because it's not like you just have to be good. It's like you get to be human and a spirit, dip your toes in both, your shadow parts, your light selves, and in between, but it's about balance, right? Being in the middle, not too much of one thing. Like the wild part of you and the domesticated part. And there's room for both. There's a middle road for both to walk along. And that's part of this wish fulfillment. So it's emotional, it's balanced, and there must be integrity has to have something to do with this, because we see your energy as the High Priestess, the Queen of Swords, the Ace of Swords. Okay. What else, Grandma? Can you tell me anything else about the 10 of Cups to the Moon? What is that for the collective? Ooh, the 6 of Wands. Yeah. Your success, as Warren Buffett says, when he looks to hire people, or what he looks for in people, but the third being, it has to have integrity. And if you carry that integrity with intelligence and enthusiasm, that is successful. Oh, perfect. Okay, so Grandmama, what is the Page of Wands? Let's clarify this Page of Wands. And look at his staff. In terms of coming, talk about correct. Like, look how straight. Yeah. So the Page of Wands is being clarified by the 5 of Swords. Again, integrity. It's by not being the 5 of Swords. Yeah, cleverness versus wisdom, insight, knowledge, and action, which is really just wisdom. Yeah, like a lot of people think they know a lot of things, but really it's like they know of, because to know something always implies an action. So knowledge in action is wisdom. And I think this is also about, you must be in an environment with a bunch of dirt-kicking snakes. Oh, and that's why you're leaving. And that's part of the, emotional fulfillment. Being willing to walk away from people, places, and things. Aha! That's what it is. The gut instinct said, whether it's the people around you, the environments, because your environment, all these things, they do shape you. They influence you. Yeah, so it's removing yourself to be like, no, none of these things have integrity. So they may have the charm. I wouldn't even say intelligence. It's the cleverness, the charm, but there's no integrity. And so you're holding it. You might be a page, but you're like, I know my fucking truth. I'm going to walk the middle road. I'm going to come correct. My staff is straight and narrow. And all of you dirt-kicking snakes, I see you, or I feel you. Then you leave with your family. And that's how we arrive at this 9 of Pentacles, because when you honor yourself, when you honor the gut instinct, even if it doesn't make sense, when you honor what you know to be true, exactly. And a lot of times it's based off of an instinct. Oh yeah, mama. I love this collective. Truly, brav fucking oh. I am so thrilled. Because again, just like being your authentic self, it takes courage, it takes strength. And equal to that is, because we're again a social creature, to go against the norm, to walk away from people, places, and things that keep you comfortable, especially if it's your family, especially if it's a great job. If there's no integrity, walk the fuck away. And you do. And you come into this Nine of Pentacles, and I'm telling you, and look what's on top of the crown. Or, sorry, look what's on top of the sword. It's the crown. And I feel like it's this crown. Yeah. It's a divine crowning. I love this. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. The cards are really driving me nuts. Okay, like guess what? Guess who's out? Yeah. So you get crowned. You get crowned in the spiritual, and then look, you get crowned in the real world. Or not in the real world, but like the spiritual world versus this world. Because you made a decision to walk and live in integrity. And there may have been nothing to prove this thing to you, but you're like, no, I fucking know. There's something wrong here. There's something wrong here, or I do not want to be a part of this. Yeah. And so now, boom, look at that. You're the emperor. Okay, so yeah, you got crowns everywhere, because then you have the Queen of Swords. She's got her crown on. Oh, there is a crowning happening here. And I just heard crowning as in birth, but then we have the Fool, which is literally a new beginning. Yeah, there's a rebirth. You're crowning. Yeah, you're about to come out into the light. You're about to come out into the light. Oh, yeah, because you were with, I think, a den of snakes. I heard the word denizens. Yeah, the people around you. The denizens were really a den of snakes. Okay. The devil. This is what I mean. And look, the scissors. You just cut them right the fuck out. With that sword. Yeah. Remember how I said in the other reading? Sorting? But actually with your sword. Maria Kondo being like, does this thing bring me joy? No. Everyone collectively is like, no. And then you're like, toss it. And you're like, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're tossing devils left, right, and center. And again, going back to the fine line, how they're similar. This goat to this ram, right? They look similar, but one does not belong. One is not the real thing. Yeah, you're the real thing. You're the real thing. And someone is fascinated with you. And not because they're the real thing. Because they're the opposite. Eight of Cups, I'm telling you, you walked away. And look who's boo-hooing. Look at all those eyes. Oh yeah, I think you walked away from like a lot of things. A lot of family, people, places, and things. Yeah, you just wrapped up those little letters that passed. This represents all those people. You just tied it up in a little bow tie. And you're putting it in the water. You're like, bye. And then they're all crying, as they fucking do. Okay. So, then what is coming up for you? Because you become the emperor. You're crowning. You're about to be literally reborn, rebirth. The King of Panties. This is what I mean, the emperor. You fucking come into it because you walked with integrity. And I'm telling you, oh, I hope this is part of the world revolution that is occurring. Like, I always ask myself, why do we venerate people, places, and things that are just fucking, I'm sorry, caca, like, just garbage? There's so many beautiful humans in this world that are demonstrations. Everyone's like, ah, the second coming of Christ. Do you know how many billions of people that are kind of like the second coming of Christ? They are the living example of, like, heaven on earth. They're pulling off the miraculous. When you walk in integrity, like, and it's not just about the monetary. It is not. This is why so many people who do transcend and evolve and become masters, whether it's ascended masters or whatever, the Jesuses of the world, the medicine people of the world, the true shamans, not the weekend shamans, but they all tell you this is why it's a funny juxtaposition. The things that you think you want and that you chase, the external things, because again, you feel like there's a hole inside of you, so everything in the world tells you, go seek. Yeah, instead of working on yourself or finding that inner beauty, let's just put in some more fillers and fake ass cheeks. And if that's your jam, like, no judgment. But my point being, though, is that there's this inner beauty, and that with like integrity, there's nothing you can't accomplish with true love, right intention, and integrity. Hand to God. And I hope integrity is going to be like the fucking new millionaires. Like, yeah, the new integrity is the new billionaire status. Oh yeah. And look, Nine of Cups. We have the Nine of Pentacles to the Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment. You got everything you need. Want and desire. And look at look at him. This is my favorite little King of Pentacles. Look at these beautiful little eyes. He's gorgeous. He's smizing. Yeah, beautiful. Look, I'm telling you, this artist has totally captured the most pleased looking little frog or toad. And there are a lot of mushrooms here. Yeah, it's like psychedelic. Yeah, your happiness, this fulfillment, I think is going to feel like taking a little bit of mushrooms, to be honest. If anyone's ever knows a little bit about, like, you know when you just do a little microdose? Like a little mushroom tea, so that you're not like hallucinating balls, but just enough to step into energetic remembering. And you're like, oh my God, yes, love, integrity, the cosmos, we're all connected. Yeah, I feel like you walking in integrity is going to feel like that. It's going to feel a little psychedelic. Okay. Okay. Where do we want to go? So, and you're this new world, this new life for you, these new people, places, and things, but I feel like you're also working on something. Okay, so like, what does this look like? It's probably going to look very different for all of you, but can I get a hint? Temperance. Again, this balancing, everything here is about balance. I'm surprised Justice hasn't thrown herself out yet, but I'm sure she will. This has a real... We are in Libra season. Yeah, this is just tempering. Oh, temporary. Well, this life is temporary. The liminal spaces. And that's part of it, right? Sometimes, the things that soothe me the most, but also motivate me, is knowing that, like, life is but a flash in the pan, and the older you get, the faster the time goes. So, like, we're not going to be here for long, and that can be a blessing and a curse to some, but, like, what is true, it's like, what do you want to do with your time here? Who do you want to be? What mark do you want to leave on the world? How do you want to be remembered? Yeah, there's something here about walking the middle road. But interesting, look, the cups, again, it's psychedelic. Cups don't pour this way. The cups are on the bottom, and the water is flowing. And look, the King of Pentacles. This is what I'm telling you. Look at this star right here and that star. The light and the dark. And we got these two little birds. And see how this bird is a mix of both the light and the dark. It's taking your darkness and realizing it's okay to be both. We're never going to be perfect. Like, I'm a spiritual man, but like, my God, I am human. I am human. Like, I just was doing pressure points in my ear, and I was like, why is this spot so crazy? And then I looked it up, and I was like, oh, that's the point of depression. And it's like, I am all the flavors. I am, as you see, I am a very uplifted, I'm a positive person. I am optimistic. I do believe in great and wondrous things. But I've been very transparent about the fact that, like, I have been living out my worst nightmares the last few years with my son's mom and my own family and our own generational trauma. And what I've discovered is that for my life, anyways, is realizing, oh, both worlds exist. And instead of just getting stuck in one state, you know, it's that what is true is like, yeah, there's a lot of things occurring in my life right now that, if I'm to be honest, yes. I mean, I started this channel because of a mental health crisis where I was like, I have to do something. I have to create something. Otherwise, I'm going to kill myself because this has just been going on for so long. It's too terrible. And I'm struggling. And not trying to pretend, you know? And I guess going back to charming, it's really like for me anyways, being both, acknowledging both, not trying to switch one for the other. I work with them both now. Like I had mentioned in another reading where I went for a walk and then I encountered a very real shadowy part of myself, and it was a child, and I know we fucking hear it, but I saw myself. I knew exactly. And what they told me was that, like, all this work we do on our shadow selves, we always want to eradicate, we want to remove, we just want to be the white pillar with no stains. But really, all of our traumas, our wounds, it's childhood shit. So basically, the thing that's running the ship is like a bunch of sad children who are crying and need to be picked up and give some kisses. And so when you're working on quote unquote shadowy parts of yourself, it's all those little kids freaking out because they think they're gonna get left behind. And as I said in that reading, what I realized is, I'm like, oh my God, those are all the parts of me that took all the blows. They're the frontline workers. They're the infantry. They're the ones that stood up to every motherfucker. They're the ones that endured the abuse. They're the ones that suffered so that I could be who I am today. So no wonder they don't want to be let go of, and they've already endured the worst. And we're so critical, not only of ourselves, but other people. And I've been this way, especially within the spiritual community. And yes, it is good to be discerning and kind of have some needs versus expectations, but we're always going to be both. We're always going to be a hero in someone's story just as much as we're going to be the bad guy in someone's story. We're going to be the hero to ourselves, and we're going to equally let ourselves down. I just have learned that, like, the two go hand in hand on this earth. It's the bittersweet. You can't have one without the other. I was listening to, I forget which spiritual teacher that I follow, but I was listening to something before bed and talking about how pain teaches us about compassion. But it's a choice, right? Just like abusive people. Abusers and non-abusers, like, I grew up under terrible conditions. And I can see in my life every fork in the road where I could have gone a very different way. All the conditions were there for me to be just as horrific. And I've said it a million times, like, doing the work is not fun. more often than not. Sometimes it can be fun, but like more often than not, it's excruciating. It's fucking terrible. But I would much rather be someone who endures pain than goes out and creates more pain intentionally through cruelness. Because again, we're gonna fuck up. But cruelty, maliciousness, that's different. That's intentionally you getting off on that shit. And I don't want to understand cruelty. Technically I do, but, you know, because I'm a smart person, I like to understand people. But I don't really want to be a part of that. I don't really want to look into that darkness too long. I see within my own shadows where they exist, but it's not something I want to feed. I would rather technically not be successful in this life by career standards, but be someone with humanity. And I was just listening to old Greta, who's on her way to Gaza with all that food, and she said, like, I'm not afraid of Israel. I'm afraid of living in a world with people who don't have humanity. And I can fucking attest to that. Abso-fucking-lutely. When I was in my bike accident, holy shit, 4 lanes of a major highway, people watching me literally land on my head, blood everywhere. Not a single fucking person came out to see if I was okay. And I was like, literally, the thing that made me cry was not literally my head injury or my broken face. It was the fact I was like, holy fuck, America. Like, not one of you, the human in you, is not gonna just get out of your car to see if someone's okay? What the fuck? Yeah, I would rather be a heart and be poor than be successful and be a sociopath. I don't know. But whoever I'm talking to, you must be on the same road, because this is the theme. And I love it. Ace of Wands, baby. Yeah. Oh, the sticks and swords of integrity. The things that we can create. I mean, we create anyways, but imagine what we could create if we redirected our energy and focus. If our policies and everything was not profit over people, but to be like, how far could we push our limits to see how far we could go to like make sure that everyone is thriving? Like, I just feel like we are so below par that we can't even begin to imagine a world where everyone could have universal health care. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm getting sweaty. Okay, so Grandma, take us out. What else do you want the collective to know? Yeah, deceivers. Look at all these hidden knives. Yeah. Don't worry, for all the people that stab you in the back. This is the thing, this and that are true. Oh yeah, the world is full of creeps. Trust me. But it's not the only world. Again, when I get doubtful, I just have to think about my grandma, I think about my son, I think about that ex-girlfriend Pisces who still to me is like a good human being. I've known them since the age of 18. I trust them. And I know how I've been in this world, and I know who I am in this world and who I want to be in this world. So when I think like, oh my God, is everyone just like not so bad so like untrustworthy? I go, no. There's a lot of them. But that's where, again, you have to learn how to trust what you do know. And when you honor yourself by following your instincts, it gets a lot easier. Yeah, 7 of Wands. See, those scissors are back out. Just cut them out. Yeah, you're not in the right environment. The 7 of Swords to the 7 of Wands. Sharp objects. Yeah, like a knife is for like cutting and slicing. Both remove. But you can also create with scissors. You can create with knives too, I guess. You can whittle. You can make a spoon. But for me, this is just like cut out all of those people, places, and things that you just intuitively know. Because again, if you sit and you ask yourself, oh, this person says that they love my energy, that they love me, this, that, and that, but then like, how do I feel when I'm around this person? Do they add to my life or do they detract to my life? Do I feel energized after seeing them, or do I feel like, oh my God, that was like too much? All of these things are here for us to discern, to know the truth. Yeah. Okay, so Grandma, one last question. Oh my God, the Six of Swords to the Ten of Cups. See, look, this person is burning the feet off. Again, someone's getting eclipsed. There's people around you that are trying to eclipse your light. And you've stayed a little bit too long. Look at those toes. That's lava. See the star above the head? You gotta go. You gotta go, Daddy-o. Yeah. Even if it's just one person that has your back, that you know. Like, I know my grandma loves me, has always loved me, and it's the real deal. I know that. My mom claims, again, lip service, none of the actions in my life would ever demonstrate that that is love. It is not love. You can call something whatever it is. I can say that the sky is black right now. It is not. It is blue. But, like, it's about actions. Yeah. I don't know. There's something here. Seven of Cups. Oh my God, look at all these, again, dirt-kicking snakes. Dirt-kicking snakes. Oh my God, you're in, remember when I said denizens? You're in a den of dirt-kicking snakes. It could be your family. It could be all the things. Your community, your family, your work environment, your friends. Okay. We're gonna leave it there. Because what I do see is that you step into your integrity, you step into your truth, and you follow it. And what comes is whatever wish fulfillment of any kind looks for you, it comes pouring in. You're the Nine of Cups, you're the Nine of Pentacles, you're two Ten of Cups, you're the King of Pentacles, you're the Queen of Swords. Yeah. Okay, my dears. Well, something to think about. Stay blessed, stay golden, go slay. Okay.